Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we once again have the entire internet all being upset and calling out PlayStation and Sony because what else is new? I always kind of go make that joke, but it is kind of true because, well, half the time we go and open up Twitter, open up Reddit, or open up any various websites, people want to go and complain. And sometimes it's rightfully so, and sometimes it's not. But for this one, we've kind of been following up a lot of this trend, and funny enough, it actually does kind of seem somewhat still warranted, at least still in my opinion. So, we're talking about this, talk about some big PlayStation callouts, and as well kind of give some thoughts and comments all floating around. And as well, we also just have some little other also stock updates too, which we've been seeing and talking about a little bit too as well. So a little bit of a nice little weekend video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day nonetheless. And hello, how's everyone doing? Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We have our Amazon links down below, the Twitter and Twitch links down below, the Target links down below. You keep on seeing people getting up their consoles with that. And let's dive into the video. So, as I'm sure you guys know, we actually do, funny enough, have a pretty big AAA game. We could round up to AAA game coming out in under, I believe, 30 days. And this is in regards still, once again, to The Last of Us Part 1 remake, which I will still find absolutely hilarious because it just seems like every single time it's in the news, whether it's on like Twitter releases, PlayStation.com blog releases, Reddit posts, or even early reviews, it is just being nonstop dogged on by the entire online gaming community. So, once again, we've actually had like a big comparison going on from gameplay. So, get ready to hit the dusty trail for a beautiful and dangerous journey across America in The Last of Us Part 1, which you guys can also see the read more on the PlayStation blog in a second. But what they're trying to go do over here for Naughty Dog itself is obviously go and show you guys up the differences in the gameplay. Now, I'm going to let it play up a few times too, because also Twitter compression sometimes is mediocre, so as you guys can let this play out in the background. But as you kind of look at this, it's almost crazy because there is just no almost major big differences, and it's kind of hard to even see the differences when it comes to these games. Now, I'm going to stand by that. As you look at it, you go and stare at it, it definitely does look better in my other comparison type videos, because we've talked about this will probably be like the topic for the next few weeks. Probably especially when this game fully comes out. But if you even look at, say, the PS4 version, obviously the animations aren't as smooth. If you guys look through the overall map, it is like slightly overly green and not enough like actual proper details mixed into it. You know, the overall ground textures, the lighting, like it definitely does look better. Don't get me wrong, like I do like the PS5 version if I had to pick and choose. But it's almost kind of hard to have the big comparison between the two of them, as like unless you're having them pretty much back to back, side to side. I still, and like a lot of other folks out there, are standing by that the PS4 version is actually kind of better. Like, honestly, kind of better, but like it holds up. It holds up to its own. And a lot of folks are still complaining on this. And whenever we see these types of promotions and messages and tweets and all that type of stuff, is that everyone is still complaining. Number one on the price point, number two on the features, number two on the fact that the devs may have also been a little bit lackluster in promoting this, and maybe it's not even really worth that much time and money and effort for all their marketing for the game itself. And as we keep on watching in the background too, you can even still see some of these hiccups, like say on the PS5 versions too, where like it's still not perfect. And it's still, in my mind, still hard to go and compare a $70 price point for the game itself, especially in the fact that we've had this game remade so many times, as we've talked about here a few times in general. Because even looking at this PS4 version, obviously, it's not going to look perfect, don't get me wrong, but it really isn't looking that bad in comparison. And you can see just so many of these comments floating around with pretty much everyone still calling them out. So you're literally confirming it's a glorified graphics upgrade with less content for more money. Looks good, but could have been a $10 upgrade than most games on Xbox do for free. Scammers. Now, obviously, if you have like these devs kind of building it up from the ground up or on new engines or The Last of Us 2 engines, like I would still say, and my point was this still, push it like on a $30 game. Like you give me a $30, $40 game in that range, I'd probably be okay buying it. Like you can clearly tell there's probably going to be work put into the game. You can clearly tell there's going to be hype put into the game. It's like a game a lot of folks have played or maybe have never even had a chance to go and check out and play as of yet. All this stuff I would totally understand. But the one biggest issue with this is the fact that like it just is not, in my opinion, worth $70. And a lot of people are calling them out too as well. So a $70 of a remake of a game that came out less than 10 years ago that was already remastered mid-generation not too long ago. Why is this being treated like a completely new game? It ain't one. And the gameplay improvement clearly isn't a massive one either. And like a lot of folks are kind of like, you could even see these types of tweets where like if someone's just kind of pulling this out just to troll, or just all this type of stuff in general, like you can kind of get it. But this has like 500 favorites on the tweet, and obviously a lot, like it's not one of those weird Twitter ratios where it has like 8,000 comments, and like these are just sympathy tweets or like people trolling for the tweets too as well. And like of course some people are like, hey, am I still seeing these big improvements too as well, and the animations got redone? I stand by, like, I think it's gonna be a good enough game, especially if you've never played the first Last of Us. But I'm also someone who is kind of like, I don't really want to drop $70 on a lot of remastered games and remade games, especially when the game is not even that old. I think on prior videos, if you guys remember me talking about this topic, it kind of stinks because, like, for me, in my mind, it's like a Skyrim or GTA thing where it's just usually not worth the money after, like, the third time you could potentially go and buy it. Now, do I think this game's gonna be sick? I think so. Like, I really liked Last of Us Part 2. I thought it was a good game. But for all this stuff, it was rough. You guys even see, like, people being like, hey, it was rebuilt from the ground up on the PS5. But it looks exactly like Part 2, which is the PS4 game from ground up, because someone explains to me too as well. And there are features, like you see the DualSense features, 3D audio features, better loading, etc. But even still, in my mind, it's hard for me to justify a $70 price point. And you guys can give your comments and thoughts down below, because I've talked about this a little bit on the channel. You give me like a $30 to $40 game, I'd probably buy it. Like, I'd probably enjoy it. I'd probably have fun. I think a lot of people would just be like, okay, cool. Why not? Sure. I have nothing else to play or waiting for, like, Ragnarok. Sure. Like, cool. Go for it. And you can even see some comments over here that, like, the PS version looks much better. And I'm kind of weird where I kind of think the same thing. Now, obviously, it's like you can see the slightly better graphics and like more fine-tuned graphics, but I did kind of like their own unique style, like their own unique somewhat animation style that kind of puts the game to its own head too as well. And like this guy's even like the one person excited for the game, because you could even see the Joel profile picture. And even other people are like, hey, why are you even literally pre-ordering it in the first place too as well? So it's so strange too, because you could even see like people that are excited to play the game. And they're like, oh my god, we're going to play the game, enjoy our game, and all that stuff. And then people are even literally like, hey, don't even waste the money on this too as well. And even this is like, if you can convince Sony to lower the retail price, that would be cool. And I'm in that same exact boat. Like, you could see, like, there's a lot of higher ratio of, like, just people complaining about it, while charging $70 for less content and marginal upgrades, and at a time it looks worse. I don't think it necessarily looks worse, but definitely does look different. Good job on being consumer friendly, but I'm sure the Sims for this piece of plastic will tell me how great the game looks too as well. I don't know, I still think the game will be a good game. A lot of folks love playing through the game, number 1 and 2, and they should probably just do a bundle. Like, if anything, it'd probably be cool if maybe you already own the game, you can get it for way cheaper as well. Like, if you ever bought the PS4 version or bought Last of Us Part 2, they gave you, like, a nicer, cheaper deal. Like, I'd be down with that, too, as well. I'd be down. But the struggle is weird, too, as well. And also, too, they're also trying to push for, like, native ports, too, on top of that. So it's just kind of weird because literally every single person over here is just kind of complaining on everything, because what else is new when it comes to the internet? I just think the price point is too expensive, and it has been re-released too many times. And at the same time, too, like, I don't know. Like, I do think the game, like, do you have a lot of the very similar script, storyline, and everything, too? Like, you're in the same exact environments. Like, you didn't have to do as much work from building a game from ground up. So I definitely can see a lot of these critiques that people are throwing out here still after all this time as well. So it's kind of just rough, But at least on the bright side, too, at least for the PlayStation 5 side, we have been once again, seeing Sony even saying that even this year, that buying the PlayStation 5 for Christmas will hopefully be more easier. Because I do know a lot of you guys are still having issues trying to find your consoles, or Sony says a significant improvement. Supply means more PS5s will hit the shelves this year, where Sony has shared that it expects to have more PS5 consoles available for buyers later this year, thanks to the significant improvement too as well. We had a chance to touch on this a little bit when it came to all this stuff, but it's just nice to see that even though we're still having issues and people being upset and complaining all about, like, the Last of Us, but at least we are seeing more stock shown up in the stores, and we're still seeing some good news as we've been covering up throughout these past few weeks. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. Are you guys upset about the price point? Do you guys care? Do you guys not care? I kind of want to know in the comment section down below. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We have the Amazon links down below. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below. The Target links, we've been seeing a lot of folks getting stock, and the Howl links too as well. Those are all linked down below, and I just want to say I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place, and I just thank you guys all so much.